All right, almost forgot to unmute again, Johnny,
Yeah,
but
we're here.
maybe the nerves are just getting to me because we're going to game 5, baby. It's time
Yeah.
for the last draft, and these teams have learned a lot about each other. A best of 5 is a whole different beast from a best of 3,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really excited to see what comes through. I think the Rise and
Ooh.
Cassiopeia have to go. They just can't allow Seafarens to play these champions, and Dinzbags also have to think about that. Galio's been the permaban,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got to think Scaling's got to be thinking about that Nasus as well. There it
Yeah.
is. I'm expecting Cassiopeia third ban and potentially giving over Samira.
It's interesting to still see the Lucian ban. Like I know it's a good champion, but
Mm-hmm.
like just for how the series is going, it's kind of interesting. And
Yep.
scaling, in fact, even though they had the opportunity to leave the Cassiopeia up and pick it
Yep.
themselves, they don't.
Yep.
They decided to kind of ban it them out, and then we see the Morgana ban on the other side. So scaling now
There
pick
we
up the
go.
Lilia, and then Dinzbags pick up their bot lane, Samira and the Nautilus are together.
Deadly bot lane here. Nautilus can activate Samira's passive so easily with so much consistency, and that is terrifying for any bot lane, even one as good as Leggy and Alex Dirty. But Lilia,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we saw Dustin Campbell be very good on it. We know Quinn will be able to play it well. Here is the Braum to try to deny whatever they can and try to disengage from that Samira dashing in. We'll see what they pair with this. I'm very, very interested. Ezreal, of course, available there, pretty
Mm-hmm.
safe. Kai'Sa still available there for Leggy, and that is,
Oh,
oh
Vayne.
my
Oh my
goodness,
goodness.
Johnny.
Did Leggy
If
gonna
this
put it all on
happens,
a Vayne? Oh, that's
Vayne
so
on
spicy and I
Leggy.
love it.
Oh my! Well, that is just perfect for Game 5. Scaling knows exactly what we all want to see. Dinzbags insta lock Dustin Campbell's Nunu for that engage.
Mm-hmm.
So strong last game, as the
Yeah.
analyst desk mentioned. And now bans coming through. There is the Akali ban that started to come through once Draymond was subbed in.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what Scaling takes away here.
And kind of the crazy thing too is that like what I think worked so well in the last time they played Tamara with Dinzbags was actually the Braum pick. So they do pick
Mm-hmm.
the Nautilus because yeah, there is a lot of synergy there. But just like the ability to block all the stuff
Yes.
that
Yep.
that could hit Dinzy, especially with Dinzy's like very aggressive style, it
Mm-hmm.
helps because Braum could jump to you and then put up the shield. But that's not going to be there. They're actually just
Mm-hmm.
going to see if they could use Luminix to get the engage, and hopefully that'll be enough that
Yeah.
that Dinzy doesn't even need that
Yeah.
kind of blocking if they blow someone up. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've seen the Oriana ban here, and I'm interested if there's a Seraphine pick coming up because it definitely
Mm.
could work with the Samira. There is the Echo, and that's going to go into the mid lane. So I was interested in the Seraphine, and look, the instant answer with the Pantheon, that is the Puke Lord's choice as an
Mm-hmm.
answer to Echo. Clearly, he just thinks this is the matchup, and we saw how effective it was in game 1. We'll
Yeah.
see if that Pantheon can be effective if they do choose to lock it in, still being hovered currently.
Yeah, they're more or less
There it
copying
is.
their team composition from game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, subbing in a different AD carry there. Actually, subbing in a AD carry
Ooh.
as they had Cassiopeia the last time they did this. But
Malphite blind. Okay.
Malphite blind pick.
So no
If
Nasus, no
yeah,
Shen available. There is Ornn uh, up there for Scoop Lord. And yeah, this is a really interesting top lane pick. It's going to sort of complete the composition and indicate sort of what they want to do in this game as Malphite with the engage. And look at that,
Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath coming in. I Cho'Gath is excellent into Malphite as a laner.
Mm-hmm.
Malphite looking to get that poke down with the Arcane Comet Q early on, and that's just not something that's going to be working against that high sustain Cho'Gath. But we haven't seen it at all this game, and once again, this draft is totally different. The Vayne
Mm-hmm.
Samira matchup in the bot lane is super sexy to watch. Like that is such an exciting thing. And we've got, the Pantheon Echo once again, which went in favor of scaling. We'll see if Dinzbags can make the adjustment here.
Yeah, a couple of things about the Cho'Gath pick specifically is that Vayne does really well against tanks that are all about resistances, and so far that's kind of what you were showing. Now suddenly you bring up Nunu and Cho'Gath that just add so much health that just give you like you do true damage, but we actually just have lots of health, so that's huge. The other half of it too is that this whole series we've seen how Dragon priority has been gigantic, and I believe has just been the winner who's got the soul every time, if I remember correctly. I don't know, it's been a
I
long
think you're
series,
right. Yeah.
but either way, Nunu and Cho'Gath, if they're both there, there's no chance scaling could take an objective. So we'll
All
see
right.
where this kind of goes.
Well, I will send it really quickly back to the analyst desk to break this down because we've got once more a really spicy composition. I think really just great drafts by both teams. They both have clear ideas of what's going on here, and they both have clear paths to victory. So, Darren and Steph, one last time, what do you think of these drafts, and who is taking Game 5?
First of all, I need to uh, what's the word? I want to say commemorate each team. I don't think that's the right word. Congratulate
Congratulate.
each team on on reactive drafting, right?
Yeah.
The Pantheon is reaction to the Echo, as the guy said, and then the Cho'Gath is a reaction to the Malphite. Now, my analysis basically only goes that far. I don't know how this fits into these teams. So tell me about it, Stefano.
All right. So the first thing, the big thing that I want to draw your eye to is you have the Cho'Gath Nunu versus the Vayne. That's definitely not, what you dream about picking into the Vayne is two characters that walk at you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that being said, it is going to be on Leggy to play incredibly well to not be caught, because if he's caught once, there is so much capacity for Dinzbag to control alt and delete Leggy from this whole entire universe. So going to be a lot of pressure on him. But the second thing that I cannot stress enough if you're a Dinzbag fan is Dinzbags cannot fall behind early. Their composition only works when they're able to force objectives and when they're able to bring the fight then. The only real engage they have is the Nautilus, and that's counteracted by Braum, by Vayne, even by Malphite to an extent. So unless scaling is running into Dinzbags, if Dinzbags cannot force these objectives and cannot get them, then Dinzbags is in such a horrible position. I think that if Dinzbags can survive the early game, get to 20 minutes without being like 3 or 4K gold behind, and if they're able to correctly play around the amount of objective secure they have, Dinzbags has a huge advantage. So it's going to be all on scaling with the Pantheon specifically to get an advantage early and make sure Dinzbags cannot get priority on objectives.
Talking about priority on objectives, I am going to say it now. If
Mm.
Dinzbags contest a dragon or a baron at any point in this game and they don't get it, they're bad. That's what I'm going to say.
Accurate. That's so incredibly accurate. There is never a reason to lose. If Dinsbeg lose a single smite fight, if Dustin Campbell, if he doesn't secure every objective, then Dustin Campbell's not on the team for next year. I think that's a fair call. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. When you have two champions that can eat half of the objectives health before the smite even goes down. Um, yeah, we will see very shortly. We are going to send it to break here. There's been a lot of talk from our producers about something called silver scrapes, and Darren has no idea what that is. But I
Darren's a boomer.
believe, yeah, Darren is a boomer. So I believe that we are sending it over to whatever Silver Scrapes is while we go on our break. Please enjoy.
I
We're in.
promise.
I think we're going back.
And we're back, baby. We just heard Silver Scrapes, the song that definitely everyone in the broadcast knows about.
Yep, absolutely. Very much everybody is aware of that, and that's all we have to say about that. And we are going into Game
Uh,
5, folks. I mean, you know what it means. And
you know what it
scaling
means.
versus Dinzbags has been a nail biter so far. Both teams have showed how powerful they can be, and we have once again a totally unique draft in many ways coming in for the fifth
Ooh,
and
five.
final game. And
They're
look
both
at
five
this, here's
stacked.
an invade, and they're both going to
Let's
meet.
go. Let's go. They're gonna fight right now. Let's go. This is how we want to start game 5. They're sitting in the
No
trash, all of
way.
them, and the fight breaks loose. You're getting melted instantly, Dustin Campbell. You're going down. Flash and 100 Thieves. Flash comes out from Luminex, trying to get out of there. Dinzbag's trying to run away now, too, from Quinn. Quinn's trying to apply a little bit of damage. Dinzbag has 300 HP left. That will be enough to get away, but it will be first blood for Scaling.
There we go. So the death is Dustin Campbell. Luminex blue flash there. No summoners whatsoever used for scaling. And so it is serious advantage for, in particular, I would say the bot lane of scaling there. That is going to be a very, very interesting. And here's the replay. Yeah, you can see the 5-person Cho'Gath knockup is valuable, but once your jungler has already gone down, not much there. So that is just the prediction from scaling, and I love that we've had these level 1 plays every single game so far. That full on instant invade, not waiting at all, but scaling totally ready for it. And yeah, the bot lane, the Nautilus flash being down is actually pretty key there in that bot lane. We talked about how volatile it's going to be and scaling with the advantage.
All right, so we did talk about it before, where like games aren't actually over after the first invade, but it is just fun to watch, and they don't get that extra vision after doing that. So that again, I've pointed out before how I feel like that's actually even better if you're able to get that. So in a sense, scaling still denied that crazy vision that Dinzbags could have gotten if they weren't kind of all there.
Yes.
So,
yes,
so
exactly.
in a weird way, you paid 300 gold to make sure that Dustin Campbell didn't have a really gigantic advantage there. So is what it is. Quinn, though, however, does have that kill, which again on its own is that much of an advantage. If they meet in the jungle right now, they're gonna be stronger.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is the Dark Seal picked up there for Quinn, going for that, going definitely for that early game power and trying to stack that up. And you're gonna expect to see the Lilia, pardon me, go towards the bot lane there because you want to take advantage of that summoner being down from Luminex. And there you're definitely going to see aggression from Dinzbag and Luminex. So, that's what Quinn wants to take advantage of.
I was gonna say, in between games, did you do what I did and like scarf down food really fast and now have hiccups?
I did it actually between game 3 and 4.
That's what you get. That's what I'm trying to. I'm sitting here like digest. Like, I need to do this cast because Dustin Campbell is ganking in the mid lane. Puke Lord is stunned up, down to about 400 HP. Will not be enough because Quinn is there to help out, and they're forced to back away.
Yeah, Quinn getting there to protect the Puke Lord, but of course, Pantheon, having reached level 3, does have that E ability, that Aegis shield that stops most of the damage that's incoming. Very powerful ability in those skirmishes. And Pantheon, the one thing about that can be discounted is Pantheon's very powerful in early game skirmishes, having that point click stun, having a lot of burst damage early on.
Oh, this positioning is really bad by Dinzbag right now, but able to jump towards Luminix there and block what Quinn was doing there with the bowling ball. So was able to kind of outplay it, but it was pretty scary there. Ooh, stun is going to hit over there. Farron's got Puke Lord down pretty low, flashes over the wall, does put up the big shield, and that's going to be enough to save themselves.
Yeah, good job from Puke Lord, and blows the flash of Seafarens as well. So he had used his Ignite there, a bit of an advantage coming in with Seafarens still holding on to the teleport. But that is dangerous for the Puke Lord, and he just kind of got caught out there. You can see he went over to Ward, but here's another gank.
Here into the bot lane, they really want to make sure Dinzbag is at a disadvantage here. He's going to flash away, survive, and spending a lot of time over here in the bot lane. Luminix hits another hook here onto Quinn. So they're spending all this time in the bot wave. Let's see what the rest of the team is doing.
Yeah, and Quinn, like I said, you want to go over towards that bot lane. Now Scoop Lord going in for the damage, but actually Draymond managing to trade some back, and if he gets hit by this knockup, it goes back the other way.
Yeah, nice knock up there. Draymond's down to 100. Scoop Lord about 200 HP, healing up a little bit there with the potions on both of them.
Yeah, there we go. Got the lane pushed in. Now Draymond and Scoop Lord definitely licking their wounds, but this favors Scoop Lord because he can heal up in much more efficient manner than Draymond can. And not only that, but the Cho'Gath pick is interesting into Malphite because of the itemization you're going to be looking for on the Malphite. Wanting to stack that armor if you can to increase your damage, but Scoop Lord obviously not going to be, not going to be paying much attention to any sort of armor stacking on Draymond. And yeah, down there in the bot lane, they, Quinn, you want him to continue to be bullying that bot lane and try to get this Vayne Braum ahead. And they did manage to blow the flash of Dinzbag there as well. And Leggy, look at this. This is a classic move there by Leggy to take the exhaust on the Vayne. That makes you such a powerful, in such a powerful position in a 1v1 if you end up against Samira. So look to Leggy to try and do some solo carrying on his own. Alex Dirty always there to protect, but Leggy is the linchpin of this team composition here.
Yeah, Leggy really wanted putting the team on their back. Done it all season long. Not to discredit all the members of this team that are all very, very strong, but really it has been a lot about what Leggy can do. And Puke Lord just trying to get to level 6 to try to do that, but right now is level 5 and fighting a level 6 Echo right now, so that is a tough situation to kind of be in. Luminix right now just zoning people away so that Dinzbag can kind of just farm up a hill.
Yeah. And remember, when Pantheon hits level 6, it doesn't really add power to his 1v1 because he actually has to level up a skill that isn't going to be used in the all-in 1v1.
True.
And Seafarens, on the other hand, has the perfect ability for a 1v1 where he can get himself to safety or use it as a surprise attack on his opposing laner. So, the Puke Lord really wanted to get an advantage in this lane, and last game he was able to do it. Last time this matchup happened, not this time. Look at the teleport coming in.
Yeah, aggressive teleport coming in from here. Draymond now on the other side, does have 6 available. See if they use it. Boom! Knocks you up. Dinzbag gets blown out of this one because everyone is here. But I will mention, though, top lane being pushed in, mid lane being pushed in. Dinzbags might, besides the fact that they are going to lose the kills and this dragon, they might actually get more out of it.
Yeah, they might get more gold in the end. That's definitely true. Here is the replay, and we see it in fast motion there. But yeah, that was just, the presence coming in from the globals that are available. Puke Lord coming in with the ultimate and Draymond with the teleport. And they get the dragon. They get the 2 kills. One of them does go down onto Leggy, and, one goes on to the Malphite there. So that's definitely going to make a big difference here. You can see Malphite already has those Mercury treads completed there, and that's very useful, of course, against the Cho'Gath. So still a slight gold lead to scaling, but Dinzbags got absolutely everything they could. You can see a plate taken in the top lane and the mid lane, so gold going on to the solo laners there.
Yeah, so basically this game's been a 500 gold lead since that first blood, and it just they basically still continued to freeze that.
Pretty much went
roughly.
even, I guess.
Yeah, so pretty much went even on there, even with the kill down there. Yeah, again, they do lose the dragon, so in the long run that matters.
Yep.
A single Infernal Drake on its own doesn't really do much, especially early. It's percentage added, so it does more later than it does now. So really, it is a big play for them to all do that, but a nice response from Dinzbags to take kind of what they can from other parts of the map to just freeze this 500-ish gold lead right now, and they're still very much in it.
Yeah, and you can see actually Dinzbag has managed to get a significant farm lead over Leggy here, though there is a wave stacking up that Leggy will be able to take advantage of. And Leggy is ahead in items here. So he's got the Vamp Scepter already completed, as well as 2 daggers. That gives him some power, but you can't discount Samira Nautilus. And looks like we had another DC here. It was a very quick reconnect, so all good there. Just coming back to lane, not going to affect anything. And our top laners, Johnny, just unlucky with the connections here.
On an island, as well as on an island on the internet side of things.
Exactly
People
right.
are in the middle of this river trying to take out this pink ward. Dustin Campbell susses them out, forces them to back away, says that's my pink ward, son.
Yep.
Don't get to touch it.
Yeah, absolutely. He keeps control of the control ward, but Puke Lord just goes back. There you go.
He wanted it. He really wanted it. He's able to get it.
Quinn is spotted down in that dry bush. We'll see what that opens up for the top lane here. Scoop Lord with that level 6. If he does hit a knock up here, definitely the possibility of a full burst combo, but plenty of magic resist built on Draymond, so it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get him low enough. Now, the bot lane, or bot side of the map, is controlled by Dinzbags, and particularly the river. Dustin Campbell having the advantage over Quinn there. But nothing too crazy going on at this point in the game, Johnny. Just, farming back and forth. This game state, I have to say, with Leggy on Vayne, it's hard to discount. I'm not sure you can count him out. Here's a stun coming in, very low mana.
Quinn's able to get over here, got the Drowsy onto Seafarer, does use the ultimate to try to mitigate at least some of this damage. Puke Lord ends up picking up that kill there, so nice gank coming in from Quinn. Now this is a gold lead that you're going to start thinking about for scaling, because while I was saying, I'm going to cut myself off, Puke Lord just made his way over to the top lane to pick up another kill onto Scoop Lord. So that goes down. Meanwhile, Quinn and Dustin Campbell are going for the 1v1. Will the ultimate be enough from Dustin Campbell? It will not. Does eat up the cannon minion, so that leaves Dustin Campbell with enough health to be fine.
Yeah, Quinn flashing away because he knew that Dustin Campbell was going to be able to have that consume and gain that HP back. It might have looked a little weird because Quinn actually was still higher HP than Dustin Campbell, but if you know about Nunu, you know that's not going to be the case for long. But yeah, Puke Lord just making such good use of this Pantheon once again, and shutting us all up when we're saying weird pick. What's going on with the Pantheon? I don't know. He just makes it work every single time.
Yeah,
and
so far.
He's been playing out of his mind on this pick, even though in this game he didn't get a really great early lead the way he did in game 1. he's just able to, make it work. And now you can see how well these trades are
Oof.
going for him against Seafarens.
Yeah, definitely great trade right now for Pukelor. Tries to flash in, wants to go for a big play, but nice little
Yeah.
footwork by Seafarens, able to get out of that.
Yeah, fancy feat there by Seafarens. The only thing saving him, that Q was empowered, and it had the execute as well as almost certainly coup de grace from the Pantheon, so that it would have been a kill. So nice sidestep there. Very high value micro coming in from the mid laner of Dinzbags, but Pukelord gets control of the lane, going to get a wave to push in and be able to go back. His ultimate is about halfway to finished, and he's going to look for probably the Ghost Blade first on Pantheon. When you get fed, you want to stack that lethality. There it is, Ghost Blade coming in, and Pantheon is very, very scary indeed when he shows up to a fight at this point.
Definitely, and it's starting to mirror more the first game that we saw in this, as opposed to the second game where Dinzbags were able to kind of snowball with Samira. You have the lead right now, and you have the advantages kind of over towards everyone on scaling, and they're picking away objectives. We were joking how it should be impossible for Dinzbags to lose any objectives, but of course, if you're not there, you're gonna have to lose it. Dust Campbell though wants to be there, gonna blow up Quinn. Seafarens picking up that kill. They're continuing to move it forward too. Dust Campbell does eventually go down, but watch what this Pantheon can do. Picks up a double kill. Draymond comes in front of the support, so Seafarens and Luminix are now forced to run away.
Yeah, and Scooplord, desperation there in that play, went after the Vayne with absolutely no chance to avoid being kited and just being absolutely taken out. So Pukelord zoning away, and there you go. Like it's exactly as you said, Dinzbags should be able to secure dragons, but that's scaling knows exactly what their team can do. They know they've got to turn for the fight in every situation they can, and luckily they have exactly the team to do it. The Malphite, the Pantheon, the Braum, these and the Lilia, these are all champions that are so powerful in early game skirmishes that you're going to be able to turn that fight and get the engagement you need in any situation. You can force it, you can let it come to you. So many options in early game skirmishes for scaling. They're playing this comp to perfection so far.
Another part of it too is that Dinzbags, the last time they were successful with the Samire pick and the kind of snowbally scaling picks they were doing before, was that they kind of like let them just have the dragons without losing anything themselves. And in this case, they did lose kind of the fight, and then again I mentioned that they were able to kind of trade some turrets to make it kind of even after the first dragon, but the second one they fought for it while they were at a lower power level, and it just all that did was add to Scaling's power level.
Yep, absolutely true. So scaling in a commanding lead, 2 dragons down, Rift Herald down, and yeah, Dinzbags have drafted this team that's so good at taking objectives and just haven't even been able to get near them, as I was mentioning before. So that Rift Herald's going to go down. Plates have fallen, so they're not going to get the extra gold from that, but they might go for this top lane gank, and Cho'Gath is pretty vulnerable at this point. No flash available.
Cho'Gath all by themselves. What are you gonna do? Leggy's right here, wants to pick up another kill. It'll actually go to Quinn. Meanwhile, we get a fight over in the bottom lane. Dinzbag's gonna use that Inferno trigger to get a big shutdown. Will eventually die though. Puke Lord picking up that one. Here comes Dustin Campbell to try to at least trade this back off onto Draymond. Gonna slow them down a little bit, but we'll just kind of force them off. So Dinzbag does die, but sometimes you'll take getting a kill just to get yourself more gold because it's more valuable on you.
Exactly. Ooh, the hook comes in, and Draymond might be caught out here.
Yeah, Luminix really wanted to make this play happen. Draymond's real low does not have really great escape tools. And by not great, I mean absolutely none if you don't have your ultimate, and you never really want to use your ultimate that way. So goodbye, Draymond. You go down, and that'll be another kill for Dinzbags.
Luminex tried to give that kill away, and it almost cost him his own life. Malphite had a bit more damage than he would have expected. And I should say, actually, Draymond went for Grasp of the Undying, didn't go for the Comet, knows that he's just not, he wouldn't be able to efficiently poke the Cho'Gath out of lane. And I should have noticed this before, because that was when it was more relevant, of course. But he went for the Grasp of the Undying. That was what was able to sort of keep him alive in those close range fights there, and Draymond has made a big impact on this map on the Malphite. Here comes Quinn with the gank.
Oh, Dinzbag. That's how fast this team can engage on you. And unfortunately, Dinzbag, to be fair, like we've been memeing a lot about him being out of position. He wasn't even that bad in that case.
That's just a crazy gank potential that
yeah.
And Pantheon is so strong with junglers. He can play. And yeah, there you go. Look at that burst. That's just this
Yeah.
lovely thing to see if you are a fan of the scaling team. Here's another engagement, though.
Yeah, they were looking to fight that. People are down to about half health here. It's joining on to Dustin Campbell, who tries to ultimate, but is forced to just kind of flash away. Ultimate that comes from Alex Dirty, which potentially leaves them to be able to kill off Luminix here. He's pretty tanky, though. Is it going to be tanky enough? It might be at least a trade. No, Alex Dirty will live, so they'll use this Rift Herald to take out this turret.
Yeah, Luminex is very tanky. It's only how far ahead scaling is that allowed them to get out of that fight without death. And you know, that's this Lilia is so strong. Quinn has been able to snowball that lead. Here's the ultimate.
He pressed the R button, and that means the AD carry gets busted up, but they actually just backed off and are kind of okay right now. Luminix is the only one, or Draymond actually ended up being the one to go down, so really well played right there by Dinzbags, but eventually Quinn comes over here. Watch out, Eat smacking people up. Does go golden, try to buy time for Pukelord to come in to help this fight, but Scoop Lord does just eat you. Here's Dustin Campbell joining now here with the biggest snowball ever. He's going to get that done. Double kill. Goes over Scoop Lord, and now Dinzbags are making a game of it.
Yeah, huge play actually from Dinzbags. It was Seafarens who had a really nice play there to get as much damage as he could down. And he flashes in, you can see, or yeah, he flashes in for Alex Dirty. Doesn't quite complete that. And then Quinn takes him out, punishes Seafarens, but then Quinn trying to go after Dinzbag and had to use the stopwatch. Dinzbag wisely backs away. They wait until the snowball can get there to help them out. Dinzbag uses the passive, and there you go. Bing, bang, boom, double kill for Cho'Gath. The monster's getting big here, and there we go. 13-6 is the favor of kills for scaling. They're still 2,000 gold ahead, but Dinzbags now have control of the Dragon Pit.
All right, now that there's some full items completed on Dinzbags, they have the ability to actually legitimately fight for this. Trying to jump in here is the Braum trying to beat that front line, uses the ultimate to knock them all up. We do get the Inferno Trigger from Dinzbag, but does get immediately blown up right after. Quinn able to pick up that kill. They're just continuing this over right now. It is a 2-for-1 in favor of scaling as they continue to chase it on. Leggy's going to pick up another kill, taking out Dustin Campbell. 3-for-1 now, and the Dragon.
Yeah, once again, Leggy totally untouched in that fight, and you're relying on Seafarens to watch Leggy out here. He's out in the back. Here comes Scoop Lord, tries to go on him, realizes getting kited away. Now Leggy goes in after he sees some cooldowns go down, and by that time, he's just able to clean up. So I really, you know, he was the absolute, you know, linchpin in that fight. And while we were on the replay on live, Pukelord managed to catch out Seafarens as well, who was trying to make something happen in the Dragon Pit. So 17-7 now, scaling well in control here. And if Leggy stays untouched in these fights, Johnny, it just isn't going to go well for Dinzbags. You know, Quinn is so strong in these team fights as well. So you want to focus him. You want to think about Pukelord, but Leggy's starting to get to that point where he can no longer be ignored.
And it was just very well played. So Dinzbag got the Inferno Trigger and was able to ultimate onto 3 people, which you normally go like, yeah, that's a great situation. But Leggy very smartly goes, I'm just going to let that ultimate finish.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like walks out, lets Leggy kind of do that. And he's only really just hitting tanks, so wasn't able to get a kill with that Inferno Trigger. And then Leggy just goes, immediately re-engages once that ult is over. Dinzbag got blown up, so there was no real threat anymore. And Leggy kind of got to do whatever they wanted to. Just able to walk people down, as Vayne does, and was just able to kill him.
Yep, there you go. Rage Blade almost finished there on the Vayne. That is a big power spike as well, and you can see Leggy's already doing a lot of damage and already playing very aggressive there. We remember we saw Leggy go into a Thornmail at the end of a Randuin's Omen, I believe,
yeah.
it was at the end of a game, one of the games earlier on in the season. And so Leggy not afraid to play for the game he's in, as opposed to the game, you know, he might wish to be in. And that definitely has worked out for scaling so far. Leggy, one of the top contenders for MVP of the entire season, you've got to say. So that is going to be pretty scary here. And in this game 5, Dinzbags have a big task on their hands.
Oh, people
It might start right here.
And people are by themselves. Can't really do a whole lot. Usually wants to go to another part of the map to create a numbers disadvantage. In this case, Dustin Campbell and Seafarens just walk up to you and you lose 2v1. However, Baron starting up now by scaling. They do it pretty darn quick. Blade of the Rune King on the Vayne does certainly help for that, but here comes a fight that's breaking out. Draymond's gonna use it. Ultimate does jump right on top of Dinzbag, who's trying to get away. Does use Inferno Trigger, but it's not gonna be enough to mean anything. Leggy picks up another kill over here. They're trying to get it done. They're gonna put him to sleep, get him a little bit drowsy. Draymond's gonna pick up another kill. 3 for 2 now. As that gets at least traded, but Cho'Gath did pick up 1 kill, but Alex 30 will pick up another one. So now it's Cho'Gath by themselves, and they're gonna be taken out. It'll be the ace. It'll be a 4-0-11 Vayne, and Leggy's absolutely popping off as we go to this replay.
Just a pleasure to watch. Draymond is, gets so low, and Leggy now gets targeted by Seafarens. There's Draymond getting the kill, but Leggy just darting around, in and out, using that ultimate, using the invisibility. It's just a glorious thing to watch this guy play Vayne. So beautiful, and
tried.
not like absolutely mind gaming the Cho'Gath. Scoop Lord was never hitting that Rupture. Never in a million years was he hitting that on Leggy. Leggy is just on one right now, and it is showing. And this looks like it might be the game here, unless if Dinzbags can do something truly insane. But you could see Seafarens, he went right. He had the opportunity to go for the Vayne, and he had it wide open. But Seafarens just does not currently have the damage. Sheen, Mercury Treads, and the Proto Belt there. It's just not enough. You can't burst down Leggy with that amount, especially when his exhaust is up. So the way in is fraught with dangers right now for Dinzbags, and scaling in a commanding lead here.
Yeah, this is what you kind of want to do. You kind of see like bits and pieces of like where scaling composition like quote unquote falls off, but you got Vayne.
Yep.
So like it makes up for that. It's like sometimes you pick those early game people in your scaling composition to kind of bridge you into the point where a champion like Vayne then becomes late game, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're good now, and that's exactly what's kind of happening here. So they're going to jump onto this fight, and Braum is trying to get some done. Leggy's going to be able to pick up that kill. They're all in this giant ultimate here from Dustin Campbell, which is doing some pretty decent work here, but it's a chaotic fight, and they're all just kind of standing in the middle of it. Seafarens is eventually going to go pretty low, but does eventually kind of get out of that. Scoop Lord does pick up a kill. 80 carries are down for both teams, so it's a bunch of tanky boys kind of slapping at each other. Dustin Campbell does eventually pick up that one. They're continuing on this wild fight. Draymond now left by themselves to deal with Dustin Campbell and Seafarens, and somehow a fight happens and an ace is achieved by Dinzbags.
I don't even know. I don't know what to say.
That's one of the hardest fights to ever call. What is happening here?
Yeah, what are you supposed to say? As a commentator, I do not envy you having to do the play-by-play for this fight, because I am looking at it for the second time and I have no idea what's going on. Everyone's just grouped up. They all stand in the Nunu ultimate. Seafarens gets away with such low HP. Scoop Lord survives for so long. And now, once the Lilia dies, you've got no sustained damage. Draymond out of mana, and they just managed to pick it up. Ocean Drake critically goes over to Dinzbags. If that would have gone to scaling, that's the Ocean Soul on a fed Vayne. And that, Johnny, in most games, and not in the finals of the MEL, but in most games, you're surrendering at that point.
Yeah, and what's kind of crazy is, like, I feel like the only way Dinzbags win a team fight is if 5 people are standing inside of a
fully channeled Nunu. And
I feel like that's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna lose a fight.
What happened to that, but yeah, now you can see the. They actually put Luminex to sleep there. No, he doesn't go to sleep, and this is the re-engage. They're not giving.
Here we go. This is a fight that they like way better. Leggy setting on the side of the fight. However, Dinzbag does jump on top of him. It will not be enough for the Inferno Trigger. Leggy does pick up that kill. Alex Dirty now takes out Scoop Lord, and this is the fight that scaling actually wants. They're not all standing in the middle of HIA Nunu ult. They ace the enemy team. They get the ace back. They nullify the last one. And now they're laughing as they push up mid.
Yeah, Draymond gets the Dream ult with Malphite here. They overextend a little bit as Luminex goes back onto Alex Dirty, thinking they've overextended, but here's Draymond coming in. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Gets the execution. Leggy's over on the side with Dinzbag, who tries to pop off, but once again, Johnny, the exhaust saves Leggy and gets him the 1v1. This is so critical, and you have to take it into account when you're going onto him in a team fight. Puke Lord gets Seafarens on the other side. Leggy ends up having to flash to find Seafarens in the end. This was a kill onto Seafarens that just happened as Dustin Campbell and Seafarens got caught out while we were watching the replay there. So that is going to give Baron almost certainly over there for free. They're going to find, well, they are standing on a ward, and
Ooh.
it's important that they have no idea this ward is here. There we go. They're like, oh, never mind, we can't do this. So there you go. There's the
Dustin Campbell is coming in with the
coming in,
biggest
and here's the
snowball.
engagement.
Can they make this happen? They do only knock up the Braum, so not really the great value that you're kind of looking for on top of that. Meanwhile, they are going to start this engage now. They're getting on top of Draymond. Here comes the ultimate coming in from Puke Lord. He's going to come in, jump in, and join this fight. Leggy, though, again, just on the edge of the fight, dealing damage. Kind of put them down. Get out of here, Dinzbag. Triple kill comes through. Let's call it a quadra. And Leggy says, you get to be champion. You get to be a champion. You get to be a champion because I'm here to carry. Leggy absolutely popping off in this fight.
It's just don't have any more superlatives to describe the way this guy plays team fights on Vayne. It's just so gorgeous, and on live you can see this is
Is
it.
it? There's your
Scaling
champions,
our
everybody.
Your champions for season 2 of the Manitoba Esports League. The players of Dinzbags are about to spawn. They fought valiantly, but that's all she wrote, folks. Scaling are your champions. Congratulations. Leggy pulls the boys through in the end, but everybody contributed to that series, and just gorgeous play in the end. What a series to close off on, Johnny. I couldn't have asked for a better way to end off the season.
Yeah, perfect, right? Silver Scrapes, Game 5, a back and forth series, everything kind of wanted of a final. You don't
Yeah.
necessarily want a 3-0. I honestly came in thinking maybe it's a scaling 3-0, but Dinzbags came to fight, and they played some explosive games where they won, and they had a shot at this one. Obviously, you saw that one fight where somehow they came out with an ace. So you gave them that glimmer of hope, but again, Leggy went, no, I'm not going to make that glaring of an error of a positioning mistake again, and then Leggy was just basically perfect for the rest of the game from there out. Finishes 11-1, I think it was. It was the final score for him, and then really picks up a win and a championship in our second season.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Scaling. I have to give a compliment to both teams as well. Just a shout out because we had connection issues the whole series on both sides, and the mental fortitude that's required to play through things like that. And when it's happening to both teams and you're having to pause and reset and lose your momentum, get it back, both teams dealt with that so beautifully actually in this game, and just really impressive stuff from both the Dinzbags and Scaling, and they gave us one of the closest series we've seen all damn season long. So yeah, just absolute huge props to both teams there.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna see if we can get interview here. Here, Leggy wants to kind of get into over here. We'll get the finals interview going, and it's just an absolute beauty. And even the path towards getting here, we saw a beautiful semifinal between Scaling and oh my gosh, team names
Shapov.
Shapov, and
Yeah.
it was just like the amount of competition that ended up being
Yes.
kind of in our final four was awesome. It
Yeah.
kind of felt like early in the season that it was just going to be like scalings the whole way. They do end up being champions, but definitely was earned.
Yeah, and even Casually Reformed came to play exactly like you say. Yeah, it's just what a season, amazing work to all the teams. And now it's time for the last time to go back to the Red Bull analyst desk and discuss that. And Johnny, I'll put you on the spot here. Do you feel like coming along, or are you ready to call it?
Let's come
Yeah,
on
well,
down.
why don't Kieran, if I can call an audible here, let's get all four of us onto the Red Bull analyst desk scene there, and we can join uh, Kieran. We can join Stefano or Darren and Stefano on the
We're
analyst.
losing it. This has been a long series, man.
And yeah, I need to stop talking. Darren, take it away. Let's all break this one down.
It's all right, Wes. You guys have been talking a lot over the last 5 hours of this series, and what a series it was. Big shout out to Kieran, our broadcast guy, because Wes just said, "Hey, how about we have all four of us on?" And then Kieran, within a second, just had it all laid
He
out,
was
perfect
ready
Just
for
layout
prepared.
on
it.
the stream.
Just
He was
prepared.
prepared.
Got good micro. Check out Kieran on.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
got nothing on Kieran.
Oh man, what a series, what a final game. I mean, we can break it down a little bit. We can get to the interview pretty quickly, I think. Ultimately, I think, guys, it really just came down to Dinsbags just could not get on Leggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was difficult for them to do that, And additionally, again, it was more akin to the very first game we saw in the series where you gave up such a gold lead to the enemy team, and it was just so hard to fight through that. And then, like I said, they kind of had the bridge of like Pantheon being kind of good early, and then by the time Pantheon stopped being good, that's when Leggy can just kind of take off. So, yeah, they really couldn't get onto the 80 carry, with the exception of the time all 5 of them was in
Yeah.
the Nunu ult.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, Seafarens was looking pretty good early game against the Pantheon, like better than the first game. We were talking about how maybe we were actually in a call with Lucan because he was helping out with the stream, and Lucan was saying, you know, maybe he learned something about the matchup. And the first game was looking really good, but like you said, I mean, the Pantheon still ended up winning that matchup, and Vayne just kind of took it from there. Um, I think we can get right into the interview, guys. I don't know if there's much
Yeah.
else to analyze there.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more after we're done, but I'm ready to
Yeah.
get like in here as soon as we can. Pretty hard to argue against this guy for the MVP of the final series for sure, and you can
Mhm.
definitely make a case for him as the MVP of the entire season. Though I definitely have to shout out a couple other players who stood out. Beyond what we thought. And, Quinn is one of them in the jungle. So solid, always making things happen for his team. There is, always a Kingsland on Chapo fan club who, you just like have to give him some props for the amount of pressure he's able to put on from the support position. And then, of course, you can't forget Dinzbag, baby. Dinzbag and Luminex both challenging for that spot. But we are waiting. And Leggy, are you in here? If you've got a webcam, turn it on. If not, just say hello, my friend.
I'm here.
Hi.
He's
Yay!
here. Hey, man. Congratulations on a well-deserved, well-fought victory.
Mm. It was really good, but really stressful also. I got really scared in game 2 and 4, especially because of the Nasus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Scoop Lord getting in your face in a lot of cases. There is the
There
face
he is.
we're looking to see. And Leggy, I gotta say, I gotta ask, like, did you expect this game to go to all five? A lot of people predicted scaling 3-0. Were you sort of on that train as well? Is that what you were? Was that what you were coming in thinking?
Honestly, yes, because I thought, because Dinzbags, like their mid laner, their jungler, just is able to bring the game really long.
Mhm.
Like I feel like Dinzbags just do so good mid, like once they get to mid to late, and that gets really scary and tricky.
Yeah, there you go. So definitely in for the long haul. And once you did kind of get to that game 4, game 5, how did your team kind of come together and like survive the mental assault that it is to like play League of Legends for this long under this pressure? How did you deal with that?
Well, to be honest, I don't know much about others, but to be honest, I know one of them was Red Bull. That was a big motivator.
All right,
Uh,
man
from
knows, the man knows how to do an
Let's
intro.
go.
everyone wants the Red Bull. The second one, I thought it was really fun. Like I had so much fun. Like normally I get scared. Like before the game, I was kind of scared because I'm like, oh, what if I screw up or something? Because I usually do.
Mhm. Okay.
And yeah, we just had fun in that series. Like Dinsbags always gives us a pretty good games.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. We could tell everybody was having fun in that series. Stefano, I want to throw it over to you and see if you've got any questions, more in depth about any sort of draft choices or anything that you want to know from the man.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask, how are your fingers doing? Because every single character you played is a finger breaker. Like you had like the highest APM, Cassiopeia, Vade. I think there was a Kaisa or an Ezreal in there
I'm
as
I'm
well.
gonna I'm gonna say this right now. In game 5, we were like, oh, we should just take Cassiopeia again from Seafarers, and I was like, I swear to God, if we win the series, me playing with only AP mages, it hurt my pride.
No.
I just wanted to go Vayne.
Hey man,
Love
if
it.
Uh,
fun is part of what keeps you going, maybe that's part of the strategy, right? Definitely makes sense, man. That's
Yeah, I
Mm.
just wanted to play Vayne in game 5 because it's like when we're desperate, I really just like to turn to Vayne.
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, so you made the call to play Vayne in that last game, and then does the rest of the team just build around you then? Was that the call there?
Mm, the Braum pick was, but then we just wanted to deny the enemy team with like picks like the Lilia, and then Scoop Lord, he plays mostly like champions like Jax and Trin, so we expected him to play those champions, so we just picked Malphite into it, and Malphite's really good into those champions. And
Yeah.
forcing Seafarers and Echo, I and just banning Oriana, I think that threw him away from his comfort zone.
Yeah, you know, and I can't, you know, I know you can't speak, you know, for all of your teammates, but what about Pukelord on this pantheon? Like, can you tell us sort of um what his rationale is for always taking that matchup? Like, does he think it's so good in lane, or does he just like the roam?
Like Pantheon versus Echo, or
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. He picked it twice, so I was wondering if you could shed any light on that matchup.
um, we didn't really think the Echo could abuse the Pantheon, because Pantheon will just always get hard prio, and if I put on something like a late game carry like Vayne,
Mhm.
or something snowbally like Lilia, if we can snowball those champions against their comp, they're not gonna win. They didn't have the late game damage unless Samir got fed.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Johnny, anything to add or anything else to draw from this guy? You know, we've
Yeah. You talked about just how like just pure fun playing the series was, and that's one of the things about playing these kind of leagues that I find like just infinitely better than solo queue is that like close games are actually fun. Whereas a close game in solo queue means you just lost LP and you're just sad now.
Yeah.
Whereas a close game in this one, it's like, okay, this is a best of series. We come back out there. We know there's people on stream watching that. Like, what are you thinking about when you're playing in all these close games that are just like, yeah, you're not going to lose LP, but you're literally playing for a championship that you've been working on for months. Like, what's going through your head in these close ones?
Well, usually when it's close, it's probably because I'm behind. I try to not freak out, because inside my head I'm like freaking out. I was like, well, crap, I'm behind. What do I do? And usually I just try to stop the bleeding, because like in
Right.
solo queue, I lose lane most of the time or just go even. So I kind of always try to go for the comeback mentality,
Right.
and I think that's what really sets me forward.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a little more about that because I know your duo Alex Dirty is, you know, he's got a lot of experience. He cut when he came into our interview, he was a super like relaxed guy. He had all the, you know, so is he part of the reason that kind of keeps your team on track in those high pressure situations, or are you all pretty good at doing that on your own?
I just like to flame him.
Yeah. That's, you know, that's a strategy. I mean, you know, it
You can tell who the
No,
AD,
but he
AD
actually
carry player is.
he really helps. I don't
yeah.
know. He calms me down because he knows what to do. Because sometimes I'll be like,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna be like thinking for myself. I don't want to think about anything else. He just steps up. So
Mhm.
that's what me really helps me with. Yeah.
AD carry, man. All hands, no brain. I get it.
Yeah.
I want to say this to Jody. I'm sorry I didn't play Jinx. I wanted to play
I know.
Jinx so
I was
badly.
kind of standing there hoping for it secretly, especially
Could
game
happen.
5. I'm like, okay, Vayne's still pretty freaking hype. But it's okay, man. You gave me that last series before against Casually Reformed, so it was still fun.
After
Good.
that
I'm just
main game, I don't
I'm
think
just
any
gonna
of us are
slide
allowed
on
to
in
complain
here
about your
real
picks.
quick. I'm
Hey,
just gonna
Quinn,
Oh,
what's up?
slide on in here real quick. Sorry,
Quinn is here.
I got given permission to join in on this.
Yes. Voice
I
of
want to say
Quinn.
that
Oh,
before
man. Quinn,
before we
get
went into that game, like or this series, before we went into the series in general, we were literally remarking that we hoped that the Dinzbags didn't figure out the Jinx strat
Oh no.
because we didn't want to have to pick ban every single round.
Oh man. It's that well, that's some really good insight, and you know, Johnny probably is just a little disappointed about that because of how close we were to seeing Jinx in the grand finals. But like I say, hard to complain there. Quinn, since you're here, I want to congratulate you on you know, being my personal MVP of the season. I loved your jungling, you know, as a, you know, somebody who likes to jungle myself. I love watching you path. So great work, dude.
Man, that is such high praise. Like I don't feel like I'm that good. Like truly we do take such a big like team approach to
Mhm.
playing. Like it's not so much as at the beginning of the season. So I don't know if you guys remember Dinzy's interview, the last one that he did.
Mhm.
But he talked about how the reason that Shapov beat us is because they figured out the ban away from protecting leggy strat.
Mhm.
And like at the beginning of the season, that was very much how we played, like just very supportive style. But as we expanded ourselves out and like rounded ourselves out, I feel like we all like just equally tried as hard as we could to like carry the game together and like make good calls and back each other up.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
well,
I
and
think
that's
that like certain junglers, I think certain junglers, like Dustin is for sure like we had to take the Lilia from him because of how good he is. You know, like there are some really good junglers in this
yes.
league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the talking about how your team leveled up, and that happened with all the teams. Like, who knew with you guys always having the edge over Dinzbags in the regular season? Who knew like that this series would end up being so close, right? Like, I think all the teams managed to level up, and since you were able to like identify maybe that weakness at the beginning of the season, it's really cool to hear you say that like this is something you focused on, and you came together as a team to like to level up as a team. So yeah, that's not a question. I'm just
Yeah,
commenting on that. But yeah, that's some really great insight, man.
I do appreciate the praise though.
Cheers.
Feel free to lay that on.
I have to say though, in the finals, there is nobody who can be given the finals MVP except Leggy. That was some sick play on all the carries you ended up on, and the Vayne game in the end cemented it for me. So congratulations. Yeah, and the four of us, I think, will probably close it out. But any last words from either Quinn or Leggy or both before you go and celebrate your win?
I just
Uh,
want
Go ahead.
to.
Sorry, Leggy,
Okay.
please. You first.
Okay. I just want to thank. Well, it's it's kind of cringe, but I really want to thank everyone because it was really
Aw.
fun. Like the casters, Mel Life and her MEL stuff, Jesus and Johnny Esports for his casting, and Rambo too.
Dude, thank you so much.
Like
What a sweetie this guy is.
just everyone, thank you. It's really fun.
Yeah, I wanna tack on to that too. My final remarks here. One, I'd like to shout out the Coop. Obviously being chill with the sub and stuff. That was really
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
And was pretty imperative, I think, into getting the
Oh,
win.
no doubt. Yeah.
And then I also want to say this is like not the first local tournament that I've played. And I've done like a lot of random ones that pop up in baseline I was into and stuff like that with 30. But this is easily like the best community and like the most put together team of people that I've seen run a tournament of this size. Like
Love it,
I
dude.
feel like
Clip,
you guys
clip
you
that.
guys you guys did a really 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 good
Really
job.
good job.
I'm
Man,
gonna
thank you.
cry.
Well,
Oh my god.
And like
anybody wants,
absolutely you deserve the shout out for that because yeah.
Stop it!
anybody
You're making Jesus cry, man.
if anybody wants proof of how good the community is, you'll only have to look to that copy pasta about Leggy that started turning up in chat. Leggy, I don't know,
What is your favorite kind of wings?
but what are your
Oh
favorite
yeah, we
my
need to know
God.
this.
chicken wings?
Who started a coffee pasta? Who
Leggy,
did?
answer now. Don't dodge the question.
You're on the to us.
Favorite kind of chicken wings. I'm just gonna go. I like it simple. Okay, salt and pepper, sure.
Salt, pepper.
Okay,
There we
there
go.
we
Salt
go.
and pepper, okay.
Glad that it's salt and
What
pepper.
kind of dip do you like though? If do you like dip with the wings? If so, what kind?
It's off
I
the
don't like dip with the wings.
All right,
Oh.
we have the answers.
choice
We
for
have
me.
the answers we've been looking for. That was the most important piece of information we
Yeah, I
needed
know,
for
really.
this. Who cares who the champion is? We now know your favorite wings are salt and pepper, and that's what everyone in the chat wanted to know.
Oh my god. Okay, good to know. I answered the question.
Leggy, Quinn, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations. Go celebrate your win, and we are going to close this one out once you're out of here. Congratulations once again. What a great series.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much, guys.
Man, speaking of community, what a testament to the types of players that we have in this league.
Yeah.
Just really great, man. That's
Yeah.
really not only charming but very kind. You
Yeah,
know. Uh,
and in the same kind of like vein that could not vein the champion, but whatever. And same kind of thing that
Hey.
Quinn was talking about, where like I've been around the block in Winnipeg and Manitoba esports, doing a ton of different things. And one of the things I like the most is that it tends to be in other leagues, like once your team was done playing, you just stopped existing and just left. Like maybe you like left the LAN, or you just like weren't watching anymore. What I really love about this community is that as teams were just getting knocked out of playoffs and stuff, they were still interacting in the chat, interacting with me on Twitter, doing
Yep.
stuff like making crazy copy pastas, and they were all here for the finals. And that's the thing that like sometimes all other tournaments has lacked. Like once
Yep.
players were done playing, they left, and it was just like, and then the finals would be sometimes the least watched thing because no one cared anymore because they were all taken out. So it's really fun to get to the point where we're in the finals and all the players are still here and the whole community is still here to watch these final games, and it really get me excited to cast. So thank you to everyone sticking around and watching all these games.
I'll just quickly build off that to shout out one person in particular who is Lucan from
What a
George
dog.
Foreman Grill, who not only stepped up as a really great member of the community, always being involved while his team was in, but in the last week, Lucan has like completely saved the broadcast 2 times.
Yep.
Not once, but
Jumping into
twice.
cast yesterday for the third place match with Intact, which was a great cast. And today, stepping in for one of our producers who had to step away for an emergency. And Lucan just straight up filled in instantly as soon as that message came in the Discord. So, Lucan, shout out to you, my dude. We can't wait to continue working with you next year. And yeah, that goes for, all of the players who were in this league, who just participated in this community and made it what it is. And yeah, Johnny, like you say, people continuing to contribute and continuing to be a part of it is what makes it, was what kind of sets it apart in a lot of ways. So that's a really, really special thing. And yeah, amazing. Darren, yeah, let's keep going. But we've been live for over 5 hours. So after we do our final shout outs, it's time for us all to rest.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The thing that I will just say is that we are coming back next spring, and I'm really really hopeful that um, maybe some of the full teams are coming back in
Mhm.
the spring. Maybe we don't know anything obviously yet about that, but
Lots
at
of
the very
information will come
least,
out in the off season, so you won't be off the loop. We will let you know exactly
hmm
what's going.
Also,
hmm
I want to throw out there, it's off season for this league, but there's a couple tournaments coming up
Yes.
Canada wide right away. Next weekend is still the Memory Express tournament, which I will be casting solo West.
Yep.
So that's free to enter now. It's a charity tournament. They want to take donations for the charity thing. I don't
Thank
have
you.
all the information on that,
There's
but
already
that's
some
available.
players from this league who are
Yeah.
signed up or
So
going to be signed
yeah,
up. We encourage
join that.
everybody to go. Yeah.
Join that, as well as the week after that is also the gaming stadiums tournament, on the November 21st 22nd. Sign up for that as well. I'll be casting in that one too as
Oh,
well
nice.
because I don't get breaks apparently. So those are all free entry tournaments. There's no reason for people to not just play. Forget solo queue. Come, like we were talking about earlier, how this is just way more fun than actually playing solo queue. Do it. I know there's also Clash next weekend, but you could probably do both, to be
Oh,
completely
yeah.
honest. Get into Clash. So yeah, again, Memory Express tournament next weekend and the gaming stadium the weekend after that, and those are all free entries. You can sign up now. So
Mhm.
go do that.
amazing. So cool to see so much League of Legends being played in Manitoba and across the country. And we will be having more content. I think Wes mentioned this. Keep watching our socials. Keep watching this
I want to
Twitch
do a
channel
podcast, dudes.
because,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it's
there's
happening for sure.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Wes has a little bit more information, but I think we're
yeah,
doing a podcast. We did a super random, out of nowhere, in-house game where some of the
that was really fun.
casters and some of the
That was really fun.
players. It was so much fun, man, and
I,
it's
I got
it's
the
I
great
flex by
killed
content.
Darren.
Zyra. That was
I
huge.
killed Darren one time,
We had
so
we had
that's
a
all
one
I
v
have to
one fight
say.
and he beat me. Yeah, yeah. Zillion is a stupid champion and should be taken out of the game. Um,
Hot take from the Red Bull analyst desk.
yeah. Just yeah, what a great time this has been. Thank you for coming with us on the ride, on the journey. We will be back. Stay tuned for more content, guys. This is the end of the season. Anything else that you want to say before we wrap it up?
I love what Quinn said. He gave us some big compliments. We, I think, have returned them, and they are all deserved on the player side. So thank you, so much everybody for participating in this community. To all of the production team and the staff at MEL for making this thing happen. We had a lot of bumps in the road, and it is very hard to do this during the pandemic, but we did it. Like we made it here,
I
and
can't wait till we could do a final in person. I just want to
Oh
cut you
my
off.
god, I'm so
That's gonna be
excited.
so fun.
turning out this well, just like imagine a LAN, right? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
unreal.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, Stefano, I'll give the floor to you for if you needed to, if you want to get anything off your chest, man. We're not going back. We're not going back on live for a little while, so give it to us.
All right, I just wanted because I think the only person we haven't really thanked and we need to above
Yes.
all else is Kieran, because Kieran is a
Yeah.
literal wizard.
Mhm.
If you use that word figuratively,
Yep.
he is so good with everything tech. He is responsible for almost every stream of you guys seeing it. If it has a good formatting, it's Kieran. If not, it's one of us.
Yeah.
He implemented the replay system just
Yes.
for today. We have this beautiful setup. Just everyone in chat, give a big heart to Kieran. He is making this stream happen.
Yep. I'll quickly as well shout out. We did mention before, but Melanie
Yeah.
deserves praise here in this category as well. She is hustling all the time for the league. It is her passion, and it shows. She just does so much for this league. Every week, it seems like she's got a new opportunity for the league to grow, and we've got so much excitement coming up. I can tell you there's going to be some stuff involved with high school esports. There's going to be some stuff involved with development in Canada that's going to be really fun. There's going to be content creation. We have a lot of great plans, and Mel is the one who kind of like drives all of that. So yeah, amazing work behind the scenes that you don't always get to see. We get lots. Everybody, we get to be called Jesus, and we get to be, we get the compliments, but those people deserve recognition
Mm.
just as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other than that, Darren, there isn't much left to do, but there is at least one thing.
There is at least one thing. Thank you so much, friends, for sticking with us. And as always, stay safe, stay salty. Good night.